All right. Welcome, everybody. It's Rob Fortney and the Amazon Gorillas today. And today we have a very special guest who's appeared with us before and come on and explained one of the most explosive, game-changing softwares in the Amazon business. Welcome, Mr. Greg Mercer. How are you?
Great, Rob. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to chat with you today. It's been a long time since we got to catch up, so it'll be fun.
Well, and you've added, like massive amount of features to what you do since the last time we spoke. So we're excited to hear about it. And so how long has it been since you launched Jungle Scout?
I think we're going on a year and a half now. So a year and a few months. It started out as just the Google Chrome extension. Now we have a web-based app. The team's grown quite a bit. I think there's a dozen people on the team now. So yeah, growing quickly and devoting a lot of efforts back into making it a better product. So it's fun.
I think I actually had like a beta version maybe. Did you do any, I know I was on really early in the process. So
we had a beta version for like the first month. I think I gave it out for, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I don't think I paid anything. That was a good deal for me. So yeah, matter of fact, I know that. I remember you sending me a link and I was like, hey, let's look at this thing. So great. Well, if you could you give us, because some people obviously have never heard of Jungle Scout or don't know, or can you kind of give us an overview of actions and does?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jungle Scout is a product research software specifically for Amazon and Amazon sellers. So if we back up a little bit, I've been selling on Amazon for like 3.5 years now. I found the biggest roadblock I had in scaling my Amazon business was the product research phase. It's so critical. If you find a good product, it's almost like a shoe-in. It's all downhill from there. Very easy to be successful. If you get a really tough product, then it is really hard to make it successful. So, what I found was, I was like, okay, I just need to be able to find more good products. And that's kind of how Jungle Scout was born. Before then, it was very manual. I was collecting lots of data manually, making these huge spreadsheets. Or to be honest, I actually had like a small team in the Philippines that was helping me. And we were literally spending hours and hours and hours every week. Yeah, Jungle Scout was born as an automatic way to collect all this data, neatly organize it so you can quickly and easily make educated product research and purchasing decisions.
Well, fantastic. That's exactly how we use it. We actually take it and we, the Gorillas and a lot of the members have, nothing similar, but we just kind of have to keep track. We try to keep track of all the data too, as well, from many other different places too, and try to put it together. Obviously, I know that our people use Jungle Scout a lot more in the boot camp than anything else. And people often go, what is if I got to have one thing, because, they're bombarded by, many offers for similar or, different ways in which to do it. And every time I always say, you got to go with Jungle Scout. So we're definitely big fans of what you do, Greg.
Awesome. Thanks for the kind words. And yeah, if you're just getting started, like looking for a product, it's a great tool for that. And we can kind of talk about it today.
Yeah. Okay. So, why don't maybe we'll start out with like the older stuff, what the real essence and how Jungle Scout actually works, or, Like, here's what the basic tool does. And then we can kind of build on top of that, up to the point where the web app and how that works. And, we go through that.
Sure. Sounds good. So I'll go ahead and share my screen then so you guys can kind of just follow along with me.
Hey, and if you guys could maybe hold on to the end of the webinar and we'll catch up with any questions or anything that you might have.
All right. So can you see my screen now, Rob?
I sure can.
Excellent. All right. So yeah, I'm just right here on Amazon. I made a search for marshmallow sticks. I chose that because this is one of my products right here, aptly named Jungle Sticks. So what you do is you can make a search anywhere on Amazon or any of the seller pages or just about anywhere you see products. And Jungle Scout extensions, an add-on to Chrome browser. So I'm inside Google Chrome right now. After I've installed it, I have this little JS up here, and I can click it, and it will gather all the data from this page that is relevant for product research type decisions. So I'm going to zoom in actually so you guys can see it a little better. So what we're looking at here, this is the product name, the price, the rank. This is a really important column, the estimated sales. We also have the number of reviews. This is the net after the FBA fees, so how much money is left over after Amazon takes their cut. And these are a lot of the very important key metrics to look for when doing product research or when selling a product. So what I like to look for in a brand, so I have some rules of thumbs that I look for in a brand new niche. And I can share these numbers with you. Everyone has them a little bit different. Rob's might be, is probably slightly different than mine, slightly different than the next person. But, I found these work for me. And then Rob, I actually like to hear what kind of has been working for you. But what I look for is in the estimated sales, I like to see a total of 3,000 units being sold every month across the niche. So if I look at all the products that are selling marshmallow sticks, I like to see, so these all look like marshmallow sticks. If there was one that wasn't a marshmallow stick, like let's see, this one all was, but sometimes there'll be like, for instance, like might be actual marshmallows on this page or something else. Then I would just X that one out and I wouldn't add it up. So I would add up all the ones that actually are marshmallow sticks and try to find 3,000 units of demand. So this product meets that test pretty easily because even in this top 3 spots, I have about 3,000. The next thing I go and look at is the number of reviews. And this is the easiest way, I think, to gauge the amount of competition. So in a really like mature competitive niche, there'll be tons of reviews. So I like to see in the top 10 spots that there's like 3 or 4 people with under 50 reviews. And to me, that means that it's something that I can probably get into. So for this particular niche, it's now what I would consider too competitive. When I got into it like 6 months ago, there weren't all these reviews. And that's kind of exactly what I'm talking about. You want to try to find these like less mature type niches. So if it met the demand criteria, met the review criteria, the next thing I would start looking at is the price, the Amazon fees to see how much is left over for net and so forth. As far as price goes, I actually try not to sell anything for less than $20. So this one's, my product right here is $19.88, 20 bucks. And that's actually as low as I usually go. Because as you can see, like for this particular product, there's only $10 left over after Amazon's fees. So thankfully I can land this product for like $4. So there's still $6 of profit. But as you can imagine, as you get to these lower price points, like $10 or $12, there's just not a lot of money left over to be made in profit. So yeah, those are some of the criteria that I look for. How does it differ for you, Rob?
I'm very similar. Now, one of the things that I look for is those top 3, the top 3 or 4 people. I want them to have a little bit of reviews. I want it to drop off dramatically as I go to the page. But if they've got some, it shows me that the category has a little stability in it, maybe. So, cool. But then then one of the criteria we use on our little spreadsheet, what we look at is how many people have less than 100 reviews. So very, very similar. I just like those top. I want to see there's at least a mature person in there that's been selling, that there's some numbers at the top of that. And then one of the other things that I look for is I don't want the top 4 people to have more than 60% of the page. As the revenue drops down or the sales, I don't want like all the top guys only getting all of the sales and revenues in that category.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And a lot of times I'll refer to that as like depth in market, right? So like you don't want, if this guy just had all the sales and everyone else was selling like 100, there's something funny going on there, right? He's probably like a really known, well-known name brand or so forth. So that's another good point.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's very, very similar. I'll let those top guys. I don't want a bunch of people having over 1,000, but like I'm okay with 500 and 700, and then like I call it the fall. Like how does the numbers fall down the page? And I always like to see a pretty decent fall. Now to me, this one's really heavy loaded. As you could see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. They're doing probably 70% of that first page.
Right.
So anyway, that's just something that it jumps out to me. Sometimes, when I'm just looking, and then obviously the biggest thing for me is where that net comes. I also don't, my target is between 17 and $50, really 35. If I can get there, if I'm close to that, I may try to jump over. Now, to get out of some of the competitiveness of stuff under, I 35 on some products. I kind of mix them up in what I'm doing.
Cool. That's good to know.
I think 19 is the number too. I think $20 is your bottom number, because unless you're landing a product for $1.50 or $2, anything below 20 doesn't leave enough margin.
Right. That's what I usually think. So, yeah. So, obviously I gave you one example there, just because, I had a product that was selling in it. Of course, we could try some other, just examples here, just so you can understand how Jungle Scout, the extension works. So again, you just like make a search, you'd hit the button. It's going to, within a few seconds, populate all this information. And then again, if we were to look at this particular product to see if it was a good one, we'd see that, judging by my criteria, if I'm looking for 3,000 units in the top 10, this one probably doesn't have it. If I were to add all those up, it's probably only 1,000 or 1,500. There's not many reviews, which is good, which means it's not a very competitive. If we went by kind of Rob's criteria there, this guy, it's probably like pretty stable, right? He has 620 reviews, but this is pretty easy it would be pretty easy to enter into this market. But they're not selling a ton, right? Like 120, 83, 174. Since it is an exercise product, it probably does really well in January, February. But other than that, it looks like sales might be kind of slow for my particular taste.
We try to keep, my number is, I want at least to have, I want under 250,000 in sales in my number, because I'm trying to build, and just my strategy is I'm trying to build multiple products doing smaller amounts. So the competitiveness, I don't have to worry. I can be on a page 2 and do a $2,000 or $3,000 sales month and make $500 to $1,000 a month, but multiply it times 5 to 6 products. So I'm not competing as hard. And that just happens to be my strategy right now. Heck, I changed it, 2 times around. So
cool. Yeah. Well, I guess what's kind of neat about Amazon, Rob, is that like there's a lot of different strategies like that work. Like you could try to go for a single home run. You could try to go for multiple products that don't sell quite as much. Me personally, I'd probably say I go for something in between there. I like to sell at least like 300 units per month for all my products is what I shoot for. And then, I like to have multiple products so that, if one starts to get really competitive or if you're out of stock of one, kind of all your eggs aren't in that basket.
Hey, and here's something that you'll laugh at. I'll show you later, is that I have this product, not that one, but the actual sticks, like the telescopic sticks that are in there. I actually have the box design and everything done about, it's got to have been 8 months ago. So I was on that curve, and then something came up and I didn't end up launching. I actually had the bids on the product. Everything was done, box design and ready to ship. And then something happened and I did something else. So it's funny how. So I was in the same vein as you're running down the same track.
That's funny. Cool. Yeah, so I guess, as you can see, so the Jungle Scout extension, it's really good, if you have an idea, if you're thinking the telescopic sticks or the Pilates ring or whatever, within seconds, you can tell whether it's kind of a good market or niche to get into. Before that, I was going in, I was clicking on each product. You'd have to scroll down here, look at the best sellers rank, and then, from there, decide whether or not you thought that was like a okay best sellers rank to sell in. But keep in mind that Amazon itself doesn't tell you how many products this unit like sells each month. Did you lose my screen, Rob?
Yeah, I went back to you. Your pretty smiles on there again.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why that happened.
As you're doing that, one of the things that I think is very important, though, when you're dealing with this, when you're dealing with the page that you're on, it's super important that you know what keywords, because basically Jungle Scout gives you the answers to the keyword you put into that search on that page. So you can maybe, and I don't know that to be true on the Pilates ring, but there may be another, it may be the main keyword's exercise ring, and you've checked Pilates ring, and it's only going to give you, I had a client who came to me, I've got this great product, and they were yoga socks, right? So she somehow had used the keyword Bella socks, and she thought she had a deal. And I said, go look up yoga socks, and it or yoga socks as opposed to Bella socks, and it it was like exploded on her. So
right,
totally important to make sure that you're searching in your keywords, that you've maybe searched a couple of them, or making sure that you have the main keywords. And sometimes what I'll do is, the auto suggestions that Jungle Scout gives you is a good way. And then, for the $9 a month, to pop over to Merchant Words and get that, get that key phrase to make sure that you are searching, the 3 phrases. Because one of the things I look for is how many competitors there are in the category, as we talked about how many pages. Are there 500 competitors, or there 200, or whatever it might be, and all the competitors will have accurate information. So I make sure at this level that I double check keywords and make sure that I've got the keywords that matter for sure.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, I was going to talk about real quick. So, like after you have a keyword like yoga socks or whatever else, the extension is pretty great for, digging in for that one. So kind of after we built the extension, the next roadblock or the next bottleneck in the product research was then coming up with these ideas, right? Which might kind of sound kind of silly, but there's block, or I don't know the good word for it, but if you're just sitting at your computer trying to think of like hundreds or thousands of different like product types, it's a lot harder than it sounds. After you've like named everything in the room, you start kind of running out of ideas. So that's kind of like where the next phase of Jungle Scout was built. And so right now I'm inside of the Jungle Scout web app. So I think this is common confusion for people. So, our extension works inside of the Amazon store. I'm on Amazon.com, installs into Chrome, and it opens up right here in the Amazon store. The web-based app, this is a separate Jungle Scout product. Now we're on Jungle Scout's website. This is inside a piece of software that, Jungle Scout has, and it kind of runs in there. So I think that's an important distinction. But what we've done is we've kind of rebuilt Amazon's catalog in a way that is user-friendly for sellers to search through. So, like Amazon.com is great if you're a consumer and you are looking for a product, right? If you're a seller looking for a product, they don't set it up so you can say like, oh, show me all of the products that sell really well but aren't competitive and over this price and like whatever. So we've kind of brought in all of their products, or we try to bring in all the products that sell 1 a month or more. It looks like we have 22 million products in here. And
yeah, hey, that's an important thing to me. So out of the database of Amazon's products, it was that statement that you have out of there, you have over 22 million products that you guys have pulled down all the data to be able to analyze in the program?
Yes, that's correct. So
because I know if you have to go out, there's other software they have to go out, get the data for you. It takes quite a while, so you can't kind of get instant results. You got to wait for them to go gather all the data. So what you're saying is you basically have pulled in that number of products into it so that it can analyze all those numbers?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we pulled them all into our database. We update them every like few days, and we're constantly looking for new products. And then we only store the products that sell like 1 per month or more. If it only sells like 1 a year, we just figure no one's really interested in that product, so who really cares? So, Amazon has like over 100 million products, but a lot of those are like books that only sell 1 a year. So those are the ones we don't have. So then you can see, you can like instantaneously search through this, which is really nice. So, yeah, like if you just, select a few, what are some of your favorite categories, Rob? We'll just do an example search here.
I mean,
what do you think?
I like beauty and health.
Health, and let's see, health and personal care. We'll try to do like sports and outdoors is a pretty good one. Pet supplies, patio. That'll give us a good start. So we could say like 20 to, I think Rob said he like $17 to $50. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna filter through this database of 22 million products. So I'm gonna say like 300 units a month or more. I only want to see the products that are selling 300 a month or more, yet have, let's say, less than 30 reviews. Because to me, this would mean it's a very young product. It hasn't been selling very long, yet it's already selling well, right? Because it's already selling like 300 units a month. So let's just go ahead and filter it and see what we're at there. And then what I usually do is like to start kind of broader like this, and then I can fine tune it. So we see a whole bunch of products that meet this criteria. From here, you can get product ideas, or we can niche down even further. One of the ways I like to do that is the listing quality score. So what we've done is we've ranked all of the listings from 1 to 100. So 100 would be like an awesome listing. They have really nice photos. They have a good optimized title, long bullet points, lots of keywords, good description, and so forth. A bad listing, say someone with a low listing quality score, they would maybe only have like one photo, only like 3 bullet points, and it's just very like unoptimized. So again,
can you say that again? Because I want to make sure, because I want to make sure I got what you said as far as bad listing quality and how you're doing that.
Yeah, and I can just show you an example here. So what we do is, when we load all these products into our database, so I'll just show you this. This has a listing quality score of 28 out of 100, which is obviously pretty bad. So if we go here and look at it, we can kind of see why, right? So it only has one photo. The bullet points are very short here without many keywords in them. A short title without many keywords. If we go down here and look at the product description, you're allowed, I forget how many characters, but a lot, like a few paragraphs, and they only have 2 sentences here. So this is a very
we lost your screen.
Sorry about that. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I guess that's one of the problems with the live webinars, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. Am I back now?
Yep.
All right. Feel free to just yell at me again if you lose my screen.
You got it, sir.
So yeah, so this was a what was it? A 28 out of 100 listing quality. So it has one photo, a short title. It does have 5 bullet points, but they're all short without many keywords. And then down here, there's only 2 sentences in the description. So this is a very unoptimized listing. So, this product is selling well. It's selling over 300 a month, even though it only has 37 reviews and it has a pretty bad listing. So these are the type of things that, since you're filtering through the database and seeing these would be potential opportunities. I wouldn't really want to private label canned cat food, but these are the product database. It will give you ideas that you can then, it gets you 99% of the way. Then the last 1% you just have to say, okay, is this a product that I would actually want to private label? So, yeah, if like we look at another example, and heck, let's just go ahead and just try to find something that we would want to private label. It's always,
and you know what? That's something that I try to get people who get stuck in this. I can't find a product situation. Is I feel like most times, even on live webinars, I'll get on there and I could take products off of that live webinar and put them in what I call my short list and look at it. So I think that like people get so caught up in that it's not as difficult, I think, as people make it out to be, because it's more fear oriented, and that's what Jungle Scout does. Is it gives you the ability to be able to take. the ability to be able to look at something and know what a poor listing quality is, because you've been able to put down all those parameters, and that's something that we in the super product selector that that we use, our people use, is that. That's one of the criteria. Does it have a bad listing? So, you give that point where Jungle Scout's doing all together at the same time, which I think is tremendous. Yeah,
cool. So yeah, I found a product here, and I didn't do any research before this. So this may be a terrible product, but we'll find out. It's empty spray bottles. So, I clicked this because I saw in the database that it has a poor LQS, listing quality score. So the listing's not good. Yet it was selling right around 300 a month, and it only has 19 reviews. So to me, it'd be worth investigating further. It's not a guarantee it's going to be a good product, but we'll see. So I'll now search for what I think is the main keyword on Amazon. So, oops, spelled spray long. empty spray bottle. And I think that was the one we were looking at. Maybe that had a few more in it, but and then I'm just going to run the extension again on this page. So, keep in mind the database, the data could be a few days old or a week old or whatever. And it also doesn't give you an insight to what the entire niche looks like. So that's when I like to actually go to Amazon.com, make the search, and then see, what the whole niche looks like right now as of today. So right at first glance, like I said, I didn't do any research before. And then I would see that this product is not a very good one. And the reason I say that is most of the price points here are too low. Looks like except, these 3 or 6 packs. And there's quite a few reviews. It'd be pretty hard to enter these top 10 spots or so. Oh, yeah. You'd probably be stuck somewhere down here. But that being said, there are tons of sales.
Yeah.
I
agree. That's too many. I mean, I don't imagine how deep that category goes, but I mean, with those number of reviews on that front page, yeah, to me, it would be totally intimidating to be trying to deal with that and the price point. I agree.
Right. So we'll go ahead and just pull another example here. We can do a few more. And what's more important than, I think some people get kind of hung up on these actual products that we're looking at. What's more important is I'm trying to teach you kind of the criteria or how you go about finding the good product. So if there's anything you take in, you're going to want to kind of take in that as opposed to the actual products we're looking at. And you will find 9 bad ones for every 1 good one. So we'll just look at a few other examples here. Looks like this is a caster that you put on the bottom of little carts or whatever else. So let's see. I can start by just caster, and then we may need to niche down a little bit more. I guess that's kind of it. So I search caster. Go ahead.
I actually have a client that did those, and
okay.
That was about 8 months ago, and he kills it. And what he did was, the office chairs that, I've had a bunch of them. You get these, the cheap, $50 to $100 office chair with little plastic wheels, and that's what he got. And that was the problem. Everyone, those wheels were breaking, and he kind of got in the right market and got the right price and sold multiples of them and did well with it. Nice.
So yeah, if we look at this right now, I can see why he would want to do these. Quite honestly, I would do this product too. The estimated sales, if we went by my total of 3,000 criteria, 1,000 plus 500 plus 500 is at 2,000. By here, we're at 3,000. So it meets that criteria. There's not many reviews. I think I said in the top 10, I like to see 3 or 4 people with under 100. And it definitely meets that. This guy's selling well with 18 reviews and 91 and 22 reviews. Here's something that's actually I didn't talk about, but it's a really nice bonus.
Yeah, there you go.
Is some of these are being fulfilled by merchants. So if you're not very familiar with Amazon yet, either Amazon itself sells the product. It's an FBA product, which means that we send it into Amazon's warehouses and they fulfill it. So that'd be FBA. And then if you see the merchant fulfilled ones here, that means that these are actually being shipped from a third party's warehouse, and they're just selling through the Amazon platform. And the downside of that is they don't offer prime shipping, which means that Amazon doesn't rank them as well in their algorithm. People don't like to buy them because the majority of Amazon shoppers are Prime members. So if people are selling products as fulfilled by merchant and they're selling it well, that's usually an opportunity, a good opportunity. This guy's selling 400 a month. He's fulfilling them from his warehouse. He only has 116 reviews, which isn't that many. And he's doing pretty darn good. So this is a good, like I said, 1 out of 10 will be good. I'd say this one is a good product that I would go after and sell. What are your thoughts on it, Rob?
Well, I can't see there, but I certainly could find it. I think he is on the front page, so he's on there, and I watched the whole thing develop. So, and we literally use Jungle Scout, and like you said, a year and a half ago, none of these, you had to guess at all this stuff. So this is just a tremendous, advantage. So yeah, I definitely think it's still an opportunity there.
Yeah.
What do you feel about one of the things that I've learned in this process, that not necessarily when it says Amazon selling it, that doesn't necessarily mean that that Amazon, it's actually their product. It could be your product that Amazon is purchasing in their vendor program. And that doesn't necessarily mean that means they only get a couple of little advantages over somebody who isn't in their vendor program. I'm not saying there isn't any advantage, but basically Amazon sees that you're selling enough that they're willing to kind of make a pre-purchase on it and hold it. And they give you some other things that you can do with your listing, but to actually control your listing a little more. So are you as intimidated by seeing a bunch of Amazon sell, people that, are just, it looks as if Amazon is selling it? What's your kind of opinion of that?
Yeah, and I'm actually really glad you asked this because I'm not intimidated by it at all, actually. And I'll tell you why. Right. When I actually see Amazon selling it, that, I guess to me, first of all, I'd like to see it's merchant fulfilled. That'd be like the best sign. The second best sign would be Amazon selling it. The third, or the least favorable to me, is FBA. And this is why. Amazon doesn't do any kind of sponsored products or any types of like giveaways, and they usually have pretty bad listings. So
absolutely.
I think that was this one right here.
Yeah, I would imagine if you, I would, and before like your analyzer tool there that would show you what a bad listing is or give you that score, that's exactly what I always thought was, look, Amazon's listings typically are not good. They just, they're not good. And so I think I think that's probably typical. So I agree. And the other thing is, if Amazon is buying it in the vendor program or they're selling it, Amazon is not dumb enough to just get into products on their own. If it's in a vendor program, they might be, but Amazon's, that shows that there's some sales in there. And I mean, what's funny is that you mentioned, which I always believe, which is I'm more concerned there's just tons of FBA people.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of the opposite of people's, that you hear people talking about.
Right, because keep in mind that in statistics and even like their quarterly reports show this, that Amazon's moving more and more towards like a marketplace and not selling stuff themselves. So it's moving towards more FBA, and they like FBA sellers. They want FBA products to sell. So it's not like they're just ranking all of the products that they're selling higher, because they're making guaranteed 15% each time that they sell an FBA product. Whereas when they sell their own products, some of their margins are actually, I know this for a fact because I've talked to some people in their vendor program, that their margins are worse than 15%. They'll be like 2 or 3% sometimes. So, don't feel like, oh, they're only going to rank all of their products well, because it's not the case.
Right. And my opinion of that is like, it's too big of a company and too many people quit and get fired in a company that size. And if there was like a real effort to kind of screw over the FBA people, I mean, they're going to have a product and they're going to unnecessarily mess with it. Like, I think that would leak out very quickly. I mean, you could hire, so more than, it's like mid 40% of their sales come from FBA. And I just read the article on it last week. Make more profit and more money on an FBA program than they do their own products. So, people say, oh, it's going to wear out. We're not going to have, no. They're growing. You're still, if you're getting into this business, you're still at the infancy stage. Amazon doesn't even make $1 in profit because they put so much money back into their infrastructure. So don't get people get caught up in, oh, I'm too late to the party. I've not got there. You are not. You're still at the beginning of this party. It's still growing. I think it's the greatest single opportunity for people to actually start a business with a low amount of capital and create long-term income.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think a testament to that is probably that, like, now, like, all my buddies and my brother-in-law, they're all doing it. Because I'm like, look, guys, you need to look into this opportunity. It's pretty incredible right now.
There you go.
So, if we want to, we can look at one more example here, but I think you guys are probably catching on to the kind of like my workflow for finding products now. I usually look for something in the product database. From there, I'll explore it deeper on Amazon and then take it from there. So just looking through here, products I'd stay away from are like these name brand type stuff, like Adidas. Like, these are probably selling well because they're Adidas pants. If I were to private label those with my own brand, that wouldn't be that good. Hopefully this is a joke. I have no idea what this is. roaches.
Actually, it isn't, Greg. There's all kinds of
What is this?
stuff that they're selling. Now imagine that's merch.
Holy cow.
But like there's a guy that made, I mean, in crazy amount of money was selling crickets. So yeah, they definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think you can send us into FBA though, can you, crickets?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, this just goes to show like all of, the casters is like a good example. These are all things that I would never think of if I was just trying to come up with product ideas off the top of my head, right? I wouldn't think of roaches. I wouldn't think of, I don't even know what this is, Americane powder or some of this other stuff, empty spray bottles we looked at earlier. These are all just like weird, obscured items. And this should go to show just like how vast the Amazon catalog is. And this stuff really sells well. They're turning into such like a, just such a powerful channel that even like these really weird and obscure products sell well. And these are the types of things I recommend to people, for people to look at, like this, like a magnetic arrow for people welding. Like I would never think to search that, if I wasn't looking through these ideas. So it's pretty cool.
Is don't try to sell sexy products.
Yeah,
sexy products. Find stuff that find the thing that somebody would have to do the type of investigation that you're doing and jump into that.
Right. So, yeah. Also, I'll talk about a couple of little features in the web app here. One is the product tracker. So what I usually like to do, so for instance, I was like, okay, I want to start selling these casters. Before I actually part with my hard-earned money, I'll usually track it in the product tracker here for like a couple weeks. So maybe I'll start making negotiations with the factory, but I'll be tracking it in here also. And what this will do is this will just help you see like how well the sales really are. So if it's not in our database, you won't have any data to start. For instance, like this one, since this is my particular product, but you can track anyone's product. We have a bunch of data because I've been tracking it. But if it's brand new, not in our database, you'll just have to start from today and you can look at it like a week or 2 weeks. But this will go to show you like the actual sales. So the Jungle Scout estimates are pretty close. They're plenty close enough to make educated purchasing decisions. So, we're estimating 481. In reality, it might be 400 or it might be 550, but it gets you in the right ballpark. With the actual tracker, you just kind of verify that exactly how many it's selling each day. So what we're looking at here is the light blue bars are inventory. The orange or black bars down here are units sold. So when we look at it, that day we sold 27, the next day we sold 47, next day 25, next day 34. So you can see the inventory is decreasing. And then today we're going to run out of stock. We only have 26 left. And yesterday we sold 63 of them. So there's pretty much guaranteed we're going to run out of stock today.
I want to see how you deal with that. So I'll definitely keep track of you, how you think that affects your, whether or not, I know lots of people who freak out about running out of inventory. And I think that just happens. And I think Amazon is not going to like totally penalize you because they know if you have it back in inventory, people want it. So some people freak out and they start raising their price and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And I tend to believe just run out and then restock it and don't do anything crazy. And every now and then I'll do a little promotion or something like that to kick me back in. But like, I don't freak out and like start raising prices, and because then your conversions go down, and then Amazon's like, well, what the heck happened with their conversions? So,
yes, actually, I guess to help answer that, Rob, we also ran out like only 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, however long ago this was. You'll see right here when there's no bars, we were out of stock. So the green line is our best sellers rank. So as you can see, when we ran out of stock, the best sellers rank dramatically increased. We were out of stock for 3 days. And then right away, they started selling again. So like the second day back in stock, we sold 14. Third day back in stock, we sold 19, 27, and so forth. So same thing. I'm just going to let it run out of stock. This time we'll be out of stock for about like probably 10 days. So we can see how it works. But kind of like you said, sometimes if I feel like we kind of dropped in rank, I'll do I'll give away like 5 products with a coupon and ask for reviews. And then that usually boosts me right back to where I was at. So don't freak out. I mean, running out of stock, it mostly stinks because it's just lost profit, right? Like I'm making $6 every unit I sell. So that means like, yesterday, 6 times 63, like, holy cow, I'm not great at math in my head, but that's like what, almost $400 in profit in a day. So that's what sucks most.
Yeah. Multiply that times 10 days. That's $4,000 in profit goes away.
Right. So, I mean, yesterday was a little better than normal, but even if we average this out to say like 30 products, it's like, man, it still stinks pretty bad. Almost $200 a day in profit. So that's what stinks most. It's not that big of a deal, I don't think, for like how you rank in your sales and stuff. So yeah, this is kind of one of the features. I know we're going on an hour here. We can quickly talk about this one too. This is the newest Jungle Scout web app feature. It's called the Niche Hunter. And this, what we're doing is we're analyzing entire niches instead of particular products. So this is pretty cool. We just released this like a month ago. We're still kind of like fine tuning the algorithms and adding more niches, but I start to give you an idea of how powerful it is. So again, of course, you can select, a few categories that you're interested in. We'll do a few of these. And then what you can say is instead of filtering by single products, I can do the whole niche. So, let's say on average, I only want to show particular niches that average 200 sales per month for each product. So that's not the entire niche. That's the average for each product. We'll do average price, like I think Rob say like $17. The competition, we've graded how competitive a niche is based off how many reviews they have. So let's see here. We'll do like a score of 6 or less. And then it automatically filters each time we adjust on these sliders, if you see. So we have now down here some keywords or niches that you may want to look into further. And just like the product database, some of these aren't going to be good. Other ones are. Let me do one other, let me do the word count of, we'll do 3 or less. So what I can do is I can go through and look at these. So for instance, like the children's vitamins niche, the average price for the top 10 products is $17, or $17.70. The demand is really high, which I think you'd probably see with a lot of the supplements. So our average demand is, this is how many units, if we look over here on the left side, how many units are being sold each month of each particular product. So this guy's selling over 4,000 a month. The next one's selling 2,700 a month. So lots of demand. For reviews, these products have quite a few reviews. So this first guy, almost 2,000. That's ridiculous. A few of these other ones are sneaking in with a few less reviews. So 400, this guy's 200. A few snuck in here without any reviews yet. So then this is just something that, again, you can go through. You can look for particular products, or excuse me, not products, particular niches or like keyword ideas. So it's pretty cool. And then I would say, right now we have, I think there's like 1 million keywords in here right now. If we reset this, we could look. So there's about 990,000 keywords. I'd say in the next few weeks or month, that should multiply to 3, 4, 5 million keywords. So there'll be a lot more opportunities too. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So that gets us through most of that. What about, I know you have one more thing, which is the review kick. You guys are doing. Can you give us a little down low or, a little update?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, this was just born out of a need to have a good way to give away products and get reviews. So anyone can go to this. Anyone can go to this right now. It's still totally free. We will probably monetize it at some point, but right now you can still use it for free. So all the products on here, people are giving away these products at a discount. So this is like 63% off, or There's some that are a lot more than that, in exchange for a honest Amazon review. So what you can do is you can put your product up on here, just like this guy did with his tungsten ring. He's offering it 90% off. So he's going to give it to someone for $7 in exchange for reviews. So this is the best way to jumpstart your listing to get product reviews. So without reviews on Amazon, it's pretty much impossible to make any sales. You have to at least start with some reviews if you want to start making decent sales. So this is, I found, the easiest way to do it. You put it up on ReviewKick or a similar site. With ReviewKick, one of the really cool things about it is people will request your product. So I'll say, like, I want this. That would add me to the seller's queue. And then the seller can then go through and approve or deny different reviewers. And one of the kind of cool things about our platform is you get some good metrics to judge whether you should approve or deny them. So you can click on their Amazon reviewer profile. You can see what kind of products they've reviewed in the past. You can see how many helpful votes they get, and some other important metrics like that to make sure that you're giving away these products to people who are going to actually leave reviews and actually leave helpful reviews. And that's important because you don't want the reviews on your listing that are like one sentence long that say, like, I like this product, it was nice. That doesn't really help out to give you more keywords to help rank for. That doesn't help your future customers to make conversions. The ones that do help are the people who like take pictures of your product and they leave like a paragraph long review about what they like or even what they don't like about it. Like, we found these like long, helpful, honest reviews are the ones that really help, not so much necessarily just the review score. So, I mean, hopefully your product's good, so you're getting 5 stars anyway. But the products that really help you make sales are the really, long and thoughtful and helpful ones.
And here's a bonus tip. If you go on there and there's like 18 of the same product trying to be given away, you might want to stay away from it.
That's a good point. So yeah, you can browse through here. And then, yeah, I mean, this, as a reviewer, this will be free forever. So, just if you see some stuff on here you like, feel free to just, if nothing else, sign up as a reviewer and just get some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't matter you're a seller or not. There'll be things on there that you like or want. I mean, it's just like a big garage sale in reality.
I did all my Christmas shopping here last year.
Beautiful. I didn't think about that. That's a great idea.
So this is kind of some of the Jungle Scout products. Hopefully, from this, you've gotten kind of a good idea of, most importantly, how to choose a product, because I can't stress that enough. Finding the good, helpful products will just make the whole process easy for you. If you have a good product, it's really easy to make sales after that point. If you got into a really competitive niche or a niche that there's just no demand for, it's really tough to ever make anything of that. So, yeah.
I think that's right on. I got a couple questions that I want to throw out at you.
Hit me.
So talk to me about the accuracy of numbers that, because I know other people use other pieces of software and sometimes there's just a huge difference in them. And I was aware and I knew it. I remember when we first spoke, you had an algorithm and then you hired a statistician. So how are you pulling together your numbers now? Yeah,
it's a really good question. So while I'm talking to you here, I'm trying to pull up a blog post because it has a nice, pretty graph. I can help you visualize it. So let me share my screen again. And you can read more about this on our blog, but this is how we come up with our algorithms to determine the estimated sales each month. So what we do is we follow, now it's like a lot of products, like 200,000 products in both the US and UK store. We track on a daily basis what their sales rank is and how many units they sold that day, okay? From there, we have a data scientist that runs this regression analysis on a monthly basis to see how your sales rank in the parent category relates to the estimated sales, all right? And then we update our equations like the first week of each month. So what you'll find is it's a direct correlation. You can kind of see it on this graph, but and this is what the line will look like for most categories. So, as you get to these lower sales ranks, this is unit sales on the y-axis, your unit sales increase. So the the algorithms will never be completely perfect. As you can see here, you know, this one at the very top, he might have sold 300 a month, while this one at the very bottom might have sold like 250 a month. But you'll see most of them kind of fall in the middle here, and the line is accurate enough for product research decisions, right? Like, we don't really care that much whether it's 300 or 350 units a month. We just want to know approximately like what to account for. So yeah, we're the only ones in the industry actually collecting and modeling all this data. So most of the other people that are, you know, giving you estimates or something based off that, they're just taking it from our site, which is fine too. But we're the source, and, you know, the one actually collecting and gathering this information, or collecting and analyzing this information.
All right. So I got another question.
All right.
Somebody's asking about, listen, they're just starting out and they may not have enough money to buy all of the things. Of your products, what do you think, in trying to gather some data to kind of maybe first get started in this, what product would you think is going to be the best? Is it going to be the web app, or is it going to be the Jungle Scout, you know, the Chrome app? If you had to choose, and you know, you got $100 or whatever it is to spend on doing something, or whatever the number is, what do you think becomes more valuable as a newbie?
Good question. As a newbie, you'll probably just saw like our inexpensive Jungle Scout extension. It's a one-time fee. I'd probably just go for that. The other cool thing is the web app does have like a 7-day free trial. So you could just, if like I had $100 to spend, I was a brand new newbie, I was just kind of dipping my toes in the water, I'd probably just buy our inexpensive extension. It's a one-time fee. And then just sign up for the free trial of the web app, and then just cancel before you even get billed. So you can just use it for free for 7 days and just cancel. So that's what I'd probably do, because from there, you can probably find a product, you know, in those like first like 5 days with the web app, and then just cancel it. And then the extension, most people will tell you it's always like so nice to have. Like, once you start thinking about looking for a product on Amazon, you can never browse Amazon the same anymore. Like, if you're just on there shopping, you'll be like, I wonder how many products this unit sells. I wonder how many like units like this particular niche sells. And you'll find you're constantly just running that Jungle Scout extension. So that's what I'd do.
Hey, you know what? And by the way, that's the coolest thing I ever heard anybody that had a product tell. Listen, just use it for 7 days and do it. And I think just says a lot about you and what you do, Greg, that you're just really trying to help people. And I mean, that's probably most important thing. Somebody's asking, well, this is all great. What's next? What are you working on next? How are you going to improve what you're doing?
Yeah, good question. So, we have a lot like in the pipeline with Jungle Scout specifically. It's always going to be like a product research tool. You know, I think it's fair to say it's the best on the market. We're going to keep making moves to make sure we hold that spot. We're devoting a lot of efforts into that niche hunter feature right now. We have a few other features in the pipeline, but just improving product research, making product research easier, making it easier to show people exactly which products on Amazon are doing well and are worth selling, or going to make you money. And then with Review Kick, we're doing a lot of improvements with it too. A lot of it just on like analytics. So we released a feature that shows you, it tracks your item every day to show you how many reviews you have of like what rating and stuff. That's really nice to make sure that Amazon's not like taking away any reviews, or you can kind of just always keep in tune with how many reviews you have. It also shows you how that compares to your sales. So it's kind of cool to see like, oh man, once I hit 10 reviews, or once I hit 20 reviews, that's when my sales really started to take off. So that's neat. And yeah, just continuously improving, just making everything better.
Fantastic. I'll come back in here. So at the end of the day, I think that these tools does it affect, somebody asked me the other day about everybody's using the same thing and they're searching those products and they're using the same software. Is everybody going to end up selling the same product? That's a question I get.
Yeah, it's a valid concern. The short answer is no. Like we saw, like in the product database, like there's 22 million products in there. I wish we had 22 million customers, but we don't. So in the big scheme of things, on how massive and how big Amazon is, all these sellers, you might be like in the Facebook group or someone else, and it might feel like to you like, man, there's so many people trying to sell on Amazon. But the reality is, considering on how many consumers are on Amazon and how big of a channel it is, we're such just like a tiny little bleep that Jeff Bezos has still never even heard about us, right? So
absolutely. If you had to pick one parameter, just one thing, what do you think the most important parameter is in selecting a product? So all of those information, all that stuff, what one thing do you feel is like the most important thing out of all the information that you can get?
It's really tough. If I had to choose two, it would definitely be demand and competition that I base off number of reviews. So those things are really important. Just making sure there's existing demand on Amazon. You're not like trying to create a brand new niche that doesn't exist.
Right. I would say too much competition will get you in the most trouble of anything.
And that's probably true. Because like if there's only a very small amount of demand but not much competition, your products will sell. It's just going to take a long time because there's not much demand. If it's way too competitive and you can never even get on like the third page, it's probably never even going to sell at all. So that's a good point. That's probably would be the number one most important.
Well, because all you have to do is go look at you see these products with 400 people, and you're starting at 400. Like that's a long way up to get up to the top if there's that stuff. So,
right.
Well, Greg, you have been fantastic for answering everybody's question. I could fully recommend it. Greg and I have been working together for almost a year and a half now, and I've seen nothing but this product improve. And it's even more exciting and more improved than like tenfold what we talked the last time. So, hey, if you'll look at the bottom underneath the YouTube, there's a great link there that will get you to that you can look at, and there's tons of information on the site. So, if you haven't got an answer here, man, that's a great place. Greg's really great, or he's got people on his staff that will return questions. I mean, like super good about it. And then, certainly you can send us a message on our Facebook page at, Amazon Gorillas, or send us an email or whatever it might be. We would be glad to answer any questions. So one of the things I've been doing, Greg, and it's been pretty successful is that me and my partner, Paul, when people are purchasing, and depending on when they purchase Pro, we've been doing a free like half hour with them, and actually one-on-one walking through with people and walking them through it.
Cool. That's really generous of you.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
There's times, and I'm thankful that everybody does it, or I'd be super busy. But yeah, we try to. If somebody requests us, we definitely, we'll sit down with them real quick and kind of answer any questions. Obviously, we're not going to spend 2 hours on the phone, but if you'll get a product, if you'll purchase this product right now, and we may change that at some point if it becomes, over demanding, but one of us just hops on the phone with you. We'll run through it with you and just show you, because usually it doesn't take much time, because we've done enough videos already with how to find a product with Jungle Scout. So we can refer you there and then answer any quick questions that get you confused. And as well as there's just a ton of information on Greg's site. Hey, Greg, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And
thanks again for having me on. I've enjoyed it. Take care, Rob.
All right, bye-bye.